wake before sunrise because you're certain your brother is dead. A few seconds ago, you watched it happen. He was walking through the narrow valley just beyond the trees when something exploded from the darkness. A cave lion. You tried to scream, tried to run, but your legs refused to move. The animal knocked him to the ground, the dust swallowed them both, and then you opened your eyes. The cave is silent. The fire is barely alive. Your brother is sleeping only a few feet away, breathing so peacefully that your own mind refuses to believe he's real. You crawl toward him anyway, just to make sure. When morning comes, the hunting party begins preparing their spears. Your brother reaches for his, but before he can leave, you grab his arm. Don't go through the valley. He asks why. You don't have an answer. Only a dream. Today, that sounds ridiculous. 40,000 years ago, it didn't. Because when you lived in a world where almost everything could kill you, a snake hidden beneath leaves, a cave lion waiting in silence, a poisoned berry that looked identical to a safe one. Ignoring even the smallest warning could be fatal. Your ancestors learned to notice patterns everywhere because the cost of missing a real one was far greater than believing a false one. Dreams became part of those patterns, not because they always came true, but because sometimes they seemed to. Imagine living your entire life without understanding what dreams were. No neuroscience, no psychology, no idea that your brain could invent convincing realities while you slept. Every dream felt like something that actually happened somewhere. Every nightmare felt like an experience you had truly survived. One hunter dreams about a valley and avoids it. A mother dreams that her child is sick and refuses to travel the next morning. Most of those dreams probably meant nothing, but the few that appeared to match reality, those were the ones people remembered. Over generations, stories like these spread from one campfire to another until dreams became something far more valuable than entertainment. They became information. Ancient humans weren't foolish. They were making the best decision they could with the evidence they had. That simple idea may have shaped human behavior for thousands of generations before anyone built a city or carved a single monument into stone. Which raises a much bigger question. If dreams were so important, why would evolution create them in the first place? For decades, scientists treated dreams as meaningless side effects of sleep, strange stories produced by a resting brain with no real purpose. Then in 2000, a Finnish neuroscientist named Antti Revonsuo proposed an idea that completely changed the conversation. What if dreams weren't random at all? What if they were one of evolution's oldest survival tools? Think about the dreams you actually remember. You're being chased. You're falling. Someone you love disappears. Your sleeping brain could create endless peaceful worlds. Instead, it keeps placing you in danger. Revonsuo believed that wasn't an accident. He called it the threat simulation theory. According to his research, dreams evolved as a virtual training ground where ancestors could rehearse dangerous situations without paying the ultimate price if they failed. Every nightmare wasn't simply fear, it was practice. Imagine a young hunter who's only chased a cave lion once in his life. The encounter lasts less than 30 seconds and the animal disappears. But for the next several weeks, he keeps dreaming about it. The lion attacks from different directions. Sometimes he escapes, sometimes he doesn't. Each dream feels painfully real. To the hunter, it feels like torture. To evolution, it was training. Modern neuroscience has found that the sleeping brain doesn't simply replay memories like a movie. It changes them, rearranges them, and tests different possibilities, almost like running thousands of tiny survival simulations while the body rests. But Revonsuo's theory explains only one kind of dream. Because ancient humans didn't just dream about predators. They dreamed about something far stranger. People who were already dead. And those dreams may have changed human history forever. Imagine losing your father. Weeks pass. Then one night, he walks back into the cave. He sits beside the fire exactly as he always did, tells you not to blame yourself, and smiles. You speak to him, he answers. There isn't a single moment where your brain whispers, "This can't be happening." Because during a dream, it feels completely real. When you wake, he's gone again. If you had never learned what dreams were, what conclusion would you reach? Would you believe your brain invented the entire conversation? Or would you believe you had actually visited someone who lived somewhere else? Ancient humans chose the second answer, not because they were irrational, but because it matched everything they experienced. Across thousands of years and across cultures separated by oceans, people described remarkably similar dreams of parents, children, and partners who had already died. Long before temples, before priests, before written religion, dreams may have quietly planted one extraordinary idea. Maybe death wasn't permanent, and once enough people believed the dead could still speak, burial wasn't simply disposing of a body. It became preparing someone for another journey. Because ancestors weren't gone, they were watching, listening, and sometimes visiting. Whether those beliefs were true isn't the point. The important question is whether one experience that happened every single night could have helped shape humanity's first ideas about the soul. If that's true, then dreams didn't just help humans survive, they may have helped create civilization itself. But survival and spirits weren't the only things dreams were building. There was something else happening inside the sleeping brain. Something ancient humans couldn't see, but modern science can. At Harvard Medical School, neuroscientist Robert Stickgold spent decades studying what happens after we fall asleep. His research found that sleeping brains don't just store memories, they reorganize them. Important experiences grow stronger, unnecessary details disappear, and emotional events are given special priority. While your body sleeps, your brain starts deciding what version of yesterday deserves to become part of tomorrow. Now, place yourself back inside that cave. You don't remember every tree you walked past yesterday, every cloud you glanced at, or every word someone muttered around the fire. But you vividly remember the place where the lion almost killed someone. You remember the sound, the fear, the exact shape of the valley where it happened. Those memories survive because your brain decided they might keep you alive. At UC Berkeley, neuroscientist Matthew Walker took that idea further. His research shows that sleep actively transfers important experiences from temporary storage into long-term memory, strengthening the information most likely to matter in the future. But it doesn't keep everything. It can't. So while you sleep, your brain becomes an editor, asking the same question over and over. Will this help you tomorrow? That's why a hunter could notice claw marks beside one river, a strange smell near another, and birds falling silent in a particular valley. Details that seem meaningless on their own, and wake up the next morning with the feeling that he should avoid that valley. He doesn't know exactly why. Today we'd call that intuition. Ancient humans called it a dream, and that might explain the strangest part of the entire story. If dreams are so important, why do you forget almost all of them within minutes of waking up? Because your brain was never trying to preserve the story. It was trying to preserve what the story taught you. The plot fades, but the emotion, the pattern, the warning, and the memory it considered important, those stay. Forgetting the dream may actually be part of the design, which means that Hunter, who stopped his brother from entering the valley, may never have remembered the full dream by the afternoon. But the decision he made that morning still happened. The behavior still changed, and sometimes behavior changes history. A tribe avoids one valley, a family survives one winter. A child grows up because someone listened to a dream. Evolution doesn't care whether the dream was magical. It only cares whether the outcome increased the chances of survival. So tonight, when you close your eyes, your brain will once again build a world from nothing. People you've never met, places you've never been, and problems you'll never actually face. By morning, most of it will disappear, but somewhere inside your mind, something will remain. A memory strengthened, a fear softened, an emotion quietly reorganized without you ever noticing. Your ancestors didn't know about neurons. They didn't know about REM sleep or memory consolidation. They only knew one thing. When they woke up, they weren't quite the same person who had fallen asleep. 300,000 years later, neither are you. Because while you think sleep is the moment your day ends, your brain has always treated it as the moment tomorrow begins.